All right. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me on this great episode of your favorite political talk show, The Truth with Ben Jokes. Now, after 3 days of massive protest, we are finally hearing words from people in position of authority. Nigerians so far have shown their pain, their anger, and even the fact that they can unite to demand better lives. And not up to 0.01% of hungry Nigerians are participating in this protest, yet the impact is being felt globally. But the big question is this: are the issues raised in this protest going to be addressed by the authorities? The hunger, hopelessness, and poverty are loud and clear. The people are going further to express it. But what will the authorities do? Seeing what could happen as the protest in northern Nigeria continues, northern senators have come out to beg northern protesters to suspend the protest. The protest took a different direction in Jigawa and Katsina yesterday when teenagers almost disarmed police and soldiers. And out of serious fear and panic, APC senators have cried out to protesters to suspend the protest. Before I show you that update and how protesters reacted, let me quickly show you this video. Tinubu finally addressed the nation in a nationwide broadcast, concerning the ongoing protest. And to the surprise of some Nigerians, because I was not surprised, he didn't say a thing about the demands of the protesters. Instead, he blamed the opposition and categorically said he was going to resist protest with the powers of the state, and ultimately called for a suspension of the protest. And listening to the speech, you would know that this is the brainchild of Bayo Ononuga and Dada Olusegun, and maybe one or two other persons, because the speech contained all that they have been writing on their official handles to deceive Nigerians, which is the same thing that Ali Ndume was saying. This speech dropped, and even some APC supporters wept because it means their hunger continues. See the video.
My fellow Nigerians, I speak to you today with a heavy heart and sense of responsibility, aware of the turmoil and violent protests unleashed in some of our states. Notably, among the protesters were young Nigerians who desired a better and more progressive country where their dreams, hope, and personal aspiration will be fulfilled. I am especially pained by the loss of lives in Borno, Jigawa, Kano, Kaduna, and other states, the destruction of facilities in some states, and the wanton looting of supermarkets and shops, contrary to the promise of protest organizers that the protest will be peaceful across the country. The destruction of properties set us back as a nation, as scarce resources will be again used to restore them. I commiserate with the families and relations of those who have died in the protest. We must stop further bloodshed, violence, and destruction. As the president of this country, I must ensure public order in line with the constitutional oath to protect the lives and property of every citizen. Our government will not stand idly by and allow a few with a clear political agenda to tear this nation apart. Under the circumstances, I hereby enjoin protesters and the organizers to suspend any further protest and create room for dialogue, which I have always acceded to at the slightest opportunity. Nigeria requires all hands on deck and need us all, regardless of age, party, tribe, religion, or other divides, to work together, reshaping our destiny as a nation.
You heard that. First of all, the speech was pre-recorded as usual, which is not supposed to be the case. The normal thing that happens in other parts of the world, and I don't mean Europe, even in Africa, the normal thing one would expect to see is a live broadcast, if possible, take and answer questions from journalists. But here, under the APC, we never get something like that. Secondly, the speech is as empty as it gets because it didn't address a single issue raised by protesters. We are still clearly on different pages. The people say they are starving because of the inflationary trend. They are starving because insecurity has greatly distorted our food production in Nigeria, and unemployment is at an all-time high, making poverty unbearable. And these are issues that have been summed up in numbers. It's not as if we are just making it up. These issues have been summed up in numbers, and numbers don't lie. But he just said here that these complaints are not genuine, that what we call a nationwide protest against hunger and bad governance is actually a few individuals trying to burn down Nigeria, and therefore the protest must be suspended. But many protesters have already started saying there is no going back until their demands are met. Take It Back movement keeps mobilizing to occupy Eagle Square tomorrow. How is this going to play out? This is a big question. We'll keep our fingers crossed and see how this goes. Now, let us look at the situation in northern Nigeria, how the northern APC senators are trying to get northern protesters to back down. Look at how the papers reported it. End hunger. Northern senators beg Nigerian youths to exercise restraint. The Northern Senators Forum has appealed to youths and other Nigerians to exercise restraint in the protests going on in the country. It said this was imperative given the violence and resultant loss of lives and property. The forum's chairman, Abdulaziz Yaradua, said this in a letter addressed to Nigerian youths on Saturday. I write to you today as the chairman of the Northern Senators Forum with a deep sense of concern and hope for the future of our great nation, said Mr. Yaradua. While it's your democratic right to embark on a peaceful protest to press home your demands, it is equally important to recognize that most protests have ended up in violence. According to him, the current protests have resulted in the loss of lives and properties in some states, leading to the declaration of curfews. This, he said, was despite clarion calls by well-meaning Nigerians, including Islamic and Christian clerics, advising on need to consider other options to negotiate and engage with the government. Therefore, I wish to call on those who organized the nationwide protest to reflect on what happened on the first day of the protest, he said. Mr. Yaradua said Bola Tinubu was aware of the challenges faced by Nigerians and was working tirelessly to address the issues. He said Tinubu had demonstrated his commitment to welfare of citizens by increasing the minimum wage after engaging in constructive dialogue with the Nigerian Labour Congress. This is a significant achievement and a testament to his willingness to listen and work collaboratively. In addition, the government has embarked on social welfare intervention schemes, while the cash transfer, consumer credit scheme, and 110 billion naira National Youth Investment Fund, amongst others, to reduce the economic hardship faced by Nigerians. According to him, there is a need to exercise more patience and allow the government to actualize its visions. And look at how Nigerians reacted. Let's take some of the tweet reactions. This tweet by Susan Fakboju says, they mad. When they were collecting cars and prayers, did they exercise restraint? And Amadu Korama says, we are coming for you people, just wait. And this tweet here by D says, you sit and watch while the police kill your people. The northern youth should know that their religious leaders or politicians don't want the best for them. They will only remember them when it is time to lie to them because of greed. As it appears, the people are not buying all these calls for the protest to be suspended. Take a look at this video for a few seconds.
Okay, so let's go.
You saw that. Now, that was one of the venues of the protest in Lagos yesterday. And those were protesters there stating their demands, the things that need to be done before they would stop protesting. But now they are saying the protest has to be suspended. This is like beating a child and asking the child not to cry. And the address does not even talk about the issues. It's just go and sit down blatantly. So this is a dicey situation. People are saying, no, we are not going to sit down. We are still going to come. So what is going to happen? How will the security forces handle this case? Because we are now looking at a situation that is very, very dangerous on our hands. I foresee very, very serious chaos in the coming days. This is what long years of mismanagement by the political class of this country has caused. Anyway, make I leave am here. Make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news wey una go like. Why? Because of una. Now I dey here, so don't go away. Don't go.